Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I'm doing another Q&A video here for The Walking Dead Season 11C. The Walking Dead returns in 2 days. So if you want to get all of my Walking Dead content, my Walking Dead reviews, trailer breakdowns, information breakdowns, and all that, then make sure to hit subscribe and definitely put your notifications on, especially for those reviews. First of all, thank you so much for posting all of your questions. I really do appreciate it. If you do want to take part in these Q&As, you do have to join the Discord. The server name is Appetite for the Dead. The link should be in the description to join. But let's get into the first question here. So, could we see aliens in the last part? No, I'm just gonna say no. Definitely not seeing aliens in the last part. How do you think everyone will find out that Rick's alive? Like, what scene it would be in, your opinion? Okay, so just like how I would picture it playing out sort of thing. Personally, I kind of view it like, honestly, it's hard to say. Like, are they going to see Rick? I really don't think they're going to see Rick. And I know a lot of people believe he's going to be in that final episode. I really don't see it. There's no way. How can you have him come back? And I know people say, well, if there's no way he can come back, then this finale is going to suck. It's like he left the show for a reason. He's getting another show next year. They're going to save his reveal for his first scene in that show. He left this show for a reason, right? I think to have him come back, and that's the thing, if he did come back, how would he come back? What, come back to Alexandria to see everyone? That's literally ruining the whole arc that they're doing right now. The CRM arc is going to be them trying to take down this bigger entity. And there's a lot of stuff there. If you remember, Gimple teased a lot of stuff like years ago about, the backstory of the apocalypse, or I guess the behind the scenes of the apocalypse or something like that. There's going to be some stuff learned here with the CRM. And so I imagine this arc is going to be pretty big, considering what we know about the CRM and when they formed, and the fact that they did form, because of the old government and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in seeing how that's going to play a role in everything and ending this current story. There could be literally people there that created everything, right? Created the apocalypse. And I think that could be a really interesting thing to go into here. And Rick is dealing with all of that. There's no way in hell he's going to Alexandria to see everyone in the finale episode, only to leave again. Like, there's just no way. It's not happening. So personally, for me, I know he's not going to be in that last episode. The only thing I could see is if they do that time jump, right? Where they jump forward 25 years. And that's an option, I guess, if they want to do that. I just don't see them doing it. I think a post-credit scene makes the most sense. And that would just be teasing his show, right? Teasing his return. And I think that's pretty fitting. Like, he is the future. The franchise isn't ending. If you wanted a complete ending, or if you do want that complete ending with that reunion and all that, that's going to be happening in the future. Like, that is the future of The Walking Dead. Once that Rick Grimes and Michonne Grimes TV show ends, that's where we'll get that ending, and that's going to wrap up all of this. So we still have a couple years to wait until then. So in terms of how I believe everyone's going to react to him being alive, that's one of those things that it's so hard to predict because our certain character is going to be together. I do think that shot in the trailer was Daryl reacting to that. So I could see Daryl sort of reacting to it like that. But it depends on how do they, I keep picturing like Carol's going to know, and Carol's like, oh my God, I have to go tell Daryl. And then there's just like an episode we have to wait until she does, or 2 episodes we have to wait until she does. And then she tells Daryl, Rick's alive, Rick's alive. But again, like, is she going to say it like that? Like, I don't know how this reveal is going to play a role with the characters. I really feel like it's going to be more concrete than that, where they actually see something, much like Michonne finding Rick's boots, right? I think it's going to be something like that, and it's going to be more involving Judith and whatnot, and I think it's going to be something that we're not really expecting. Q&A, with the recent possible Jeffrey Grimes tease, do you think they will do anything more with his character, like possibly showing up in the Rick or Daryl spinoff? I personally think Jeffrey meeting Daryl would be so interesting. I think that would be really cool if they did want to do that. I just think that it's a little, I don't know, it's too convenient, right, to have him there and meeting Daryl. Unless Jeffrey Grimes has a bigger importance. But again, I kind of have an issue too as well with making every Grimes character so important, right? I think what makes Rick so relatable is that he is just like one of us. And even with the CRM arc, yes, he's Rick Grimes and he was taken away, but he's just Rick Grimes. He's one person, he's one man, he was taken away, and he's treated just like everyone else. Heath was taken away, right? Heath and Rick to the CRM are the same person. Although it depends, because, one of them could have been an A or a B, right? So, but you get my point. Like, Rick is just a normal person, and he's a normal person dealing with these big things, which just makes it way more relatable and way more fun. If he was like this superhero, honestly, it's so hard to like relate with that, and I don't think the character would be as great at all. So I think in terms of Jeffrey Grimes existing, I agree with it. I just would prefer it to be maybe just more of like a Tales of the Walking Dead episode, right? But the character dies. Q&A, what do you expect from episode 23 and 24 now that, or since we got the episode titles? I think those episodes, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Like, episode 23 is titled Family. That has to be something Rick related, right? Something with the Grimes family. In terms of the last one, Rest in Peace, that's definitely, copying the comic there. Big character is going to die for sure. One or two characters could die. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's so hard to say what's going to happen in those two episodes because we're still so far away. Like, after episode 20 or 21, if there's no Rick stuff coming out then it's going to be easier to predict, right? Because our characters are going to be in certain places that we don't even know yet because we don't, a lot of the footage shown is really from the first 4 episodes, I would say, maybe a couple of them from later on. So it's going to be a lot easier to know what's happening once we're a little bit closer to those 2 episodes. So as of now, it's kind of hard to answer that. Q&A, do you think we will see a running zombie in action chasing one of our characters? I don't know about these 2 episodes, but I think, yeah, definitely in episode 19 for sure. Who do you think is the connection to the CRM? Lance, Pamela, both? I think Lance will somehow survive in the end because he's the connection. Thoughts? I think Lance probably knows about them, yeah, but I think Pamela is more of the connection because, her father was the president of the United States. The Pacific Republic was formed by the old government. I think it makes a lot of sense there. They're obviously aware of Pamela Milton. They know who she is. I think they're just aware of each other. It's pretty simple. It's just, it's people from the old government. Obviously, they'd sort of be aware of each other, and I think they would just make deals or whatever. And I think, yeah, Lance and Pamela, I think they both know what's going on, but obviously they're not going to tell their secrets to all these other people, right? What if Rosita and Gabriel die and then Eugene and Max now have to take care of their baby? What do you think? I guess that's possible. I don't know how I feel about that though. I really want one of those characters to survive. I know there's been some rumors about one of those characters that I won't get into here, but yeah, like I wouldn't want both of them to die. Obviously it's possible. It's that last season here, and like obviously the core characters are fine, like the core main cast is fine. But there's like characters like Rosita, Eugene, Gabriel, Aaron, Ezekiel. Those characters are totally killable because I don't even know the next time we're going to see those characters again. It literally might not be until the very end when Rick goes back to Alexandria and then it's just sort of happily ever after we see those characters there, right? Like this is basically the end of their stories for the most part. Q&A, will they revisit Atlanta in season 8 of Fear or in the next seasons? It would be cool if they did. I don't think they're going to. I know they're filming in Atlanta, but I believe season 8 is going to have more of a water setting because if you think of, the ending of season 7, they're going to that boat there, right, in the water, and I know the showrunners have sort of teased that about season 8, that the season is going to largely focus on the water. Did Michonne ever get married to Rick like Maggie and Glenn? Well, see, with this, I believe that it did happen, but just off screen. I believe that's what Angela Kang said. I remember it was someone who was asked, like, are Rick and Michonne married? And they said, yeah. So I believe it was Angela Kang, but I could be wrong. Could have been Scott Gimple. But it was someone who did confirm that. It definitely happened off screen. And I don't know how it would have happened, how it would have played out. It might have been a more simple thing just between the two characters. Maybe they just had Gabriel say something. But it was definitely like more of a smaller setting there. It happened, I believe, off screen. So Q&A, I know you don't really care for ratings and all that much, but do you see the ratings and viewership for the series finale being high now that everyone, including those with AMC Plus, are going to be watching it on cable? Do you think it will show how useless cable ratings can be nowadays with the popularity of streaming services? Yeah, I imagine the ratings for the last 8 here are going to go up. Maybe not at first, but definitely for that last one, it's going to go up. In terms of for streaming services, again, right now, The Walking Dead, in terms of ratings, and this was so crazy about it, in terms of cable viewers anyways, it's pretty much tied with House of the Dragon. That's nuts, right? And I know House of the Dragon isn't Game of Thrones, but House of the Dragon is super popular online right now. And The Walking Dead is basically there, a little bit under that, not by much at all, only by a few 100,000. And I don't know how they count their streaming numbers. I have no idea how HBO does that, because I know with HBO Max and everything else, and again, that's also available worldwide, their numbers are definitely going very, very high. But in terms of cable viewers, you know, with The Walking Dead, it's doing really, really good. And even with season 11, you know, for years and years, maybe up until season 10, it was like #1 on cable for ratings. Like, it still literally was, even though it dropped so much. And right now with season 11, it's still #2. Like, it's literally #2. Like, this show is so successful, and most of the ratings come from AMC Plus. Like, most of the viewership comes from AMC Plus. So when you see those numbers of like 1.7, even if it goes under 1 million at some point, I don't think The Walking Dead ever will, but even if it does, people don't watch it on cable anymore. Everyone watches it on AMC Plus. When was the last time you watched it on like cable? I haven't watched it on cable in a couple years now. Q&A, will you eventually do a ranking video of The Walking Dead once it's over? Like seasons ranked, worst to best, trailers ranked, arcs, characters, villains. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Keep up the videos, man. Can't wait for the content that you will bring us for years to come. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the plan. Obviously, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the spinoffs, but there will be stuff with the main show that I can kind of talk about a little bit in terms of just ranking stuff, right? Like my favorite episodes, favorite moments, this and that. I might not get to it a lot because there's a lot of content coming out in 2023. Like, I might actually touch on some of that stuff later on, you know, around Christmas time, I think, going into the new year. Just sort of doing top 10 videos of things, right? Or ranking seasons and whatnot. I think I could slowly start to get into that in December, maybe end of December. But I mean, there's so much stuff happening next year. There's The Last of Us. There's all 3 Walking Dead spinoffs, right? The Rick, Daryl, and Maggie one. And there's also going to be, I mean, Tales of the Walking Dead hasn't been renewed, but there's potentially that. And Fear the Walking Dead. There's so much happening next year. It's a bigger year than this year. It's, you know, if I have the time, I have the time, basically. But I'm going to leave it here. Definitely thank you so much for posting all of your questions. I really enjoyed doing this. Again, if you want to take part in these Q&As, then definitely go follow the Discord. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.